Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results, main event spoilers, and what happened after all at the end of the video. Happy birthdays from December 16th. Eric Young turned 37 years old. Cruiserweight champion, former Cruiserweight champion Elix Skipper turned 49. Former tag team champion Rene Dupree turned 33. And Sid Vicious was born in 1960 on December 16th. Luke Harper turned another year old. He was born in 1979. And Menz Tejo, he was born in 1966 on December 16th. Eugene Dinsmore had a birthday December 17th. Stone Cold had a birthday December 18th. He was born in 1964. Rob Van Dam, December 18th. He was born in 1970. And December 18th, Trish Stratus. She was born in 1975. So, all three, Rob Van Dam, Stone Cold, and Trish Stratus, all have birthdays on the 18th. Mean Gene turned 74 years old today, December 19th. As Oakland was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2006 by Hulkster himself, and still makes sporadic appearances for WWE TV, most notably on Legends House back in 2014. Also, WWE wished him happy birthday through their Instagram account. Well, James Ellsworth, who still has a title shot coming from WWE Champion AJ Styles. But AJ Styles has been pulled from Weekend's House of Ellsworth has been pulled from House of Hardcore event in Jopa, Maryland, as he was set to team with Tommy Dreamer against the Spirit Squad in the main event. As Dreamer wrote following on Ellsworth, at Tommy Dreamer, James Ellsworth screwed Dean Ambrose, myself, and at House of Hardcore. He will not be there this coming Saturday. No politics, no BS, just wrestling. And I'm very pissed. Well, WWE has this video wishing everybody happy holidays from WWE, featuring superstar emojis. And it looks like Ellsworth won't be getting his WWE title shot this year, as WWE has also pulled AJ Styles from all events this month. His scheduled live event is December 26th from Madison Square Garden, which is a triple threat with Dean Ambrose and John Cena, who also returns to the company from filming Fox's American Grit that night. So it may look like it's going to be a triple threat for the Intercontinental title instead. AJ is expected to appear at SmackDown tapings until then, but not wrestle. Styles versus new number one contender Dolph Ziggler has also been announced for the final SmackDown of 2016 from Chicago on December 27th. Styles has not wrestled since December 4th at the WWE TLC pay-per-view after suffering a minor ankle injury while taking a backdrop to the floor from Ambrose. Styles was set to defend on Tuesday night SmackDown against Ellsworth, but that match did not happen. Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn are directly responsible for the new WWE 205 live show, not Triple H, according to PW Insider. Vince has been extremely hands-on with the cruiserweights in getting them to execute his vision. Disney's Moana with The Rock has been nominated for 2 2017 Golden Globe Awards, Best Animated Picture and Best Original Song. The Rock tweeted the following on the nominations. At The Rock, feeling kind of goldish today. Thank you, at Golden Globes, for our 2 nominations for #Mona. Congrats to our filmmakers and cast. Proud of you. This next video link is behind the scenes video from last week's Rock the Troops special with The Rock that also simultaneously played with a tribute to the troops. Also starring was Kevin Hart, Tenacious D, Terry Crews, and many others, including Matthew McConaughey. This next video clip between Cody Rhodes and Jay Lethal from Ring of Honor's Final Battle pay-per-view from last week Video shows how Cody initially came out to cheers, but those turned to boos when he low-blowed Lethal and picked up the cheap win. Rhodes flipped the table, threw streamers back to the crowd, and gave Lethal the middle finger before pushing Steve Corino to the ground while at the announce table. Cody will be taking on Juice Robinson, formerly CJ Parker, in NXT, at NJPW's Wrestle Kingdom 11 in January. And you can see the entire card at that link. In an effort to expand their markets, New Japan Pro Wrestling opened up their official English website, which can be found at this link. And the website offers 2016 review, ticket sales, merchandise, a card for Wrestle Kingdom 11, and a link to their streaming service, New Japan World, which costs about $9 a month. While in Austin, Texas over the weekend, for a Wrestle Circus show, Joey Ryan bumped into NXT superstar Ember Moon. As I'll show you a picture at this link at Instagram.com/Joey Ryan. Ryan posted the photo of the two on his Instagram account. Vice recently ran a story profiling the Young Bucks and did a interview, who recently re-signed with Ring of Honor. And here are a couple of the highlights. They commented on AJ Styles wanting them to go to WWE with him. Matt says when AJ was about to leave, he pulled us aside before anybody knew anything, and he asked us about our contracts. At that point, it was December, and we had just signed in November. He's like, "You did?" Ugh. The idea was going to try to get us to walk out with him and be the guys with him. If we never signed, there's a great chance we could have been walking out on Raw with those guys, I feel. The Young Bucks on Bullet Club members moving to WWE. Failed TNA run, as well as Booker T incident, and no WWE offer. Matt says, maybe then we think, you know what? If we're ever going to go to WWE, let's go now, because it's going to be now or never. You have to go there to be the greatest of all time. That's in the eyes of the fans. Unless you're a WWE Hall of Famer, eventually you almost have a wasted career in their eyes. It's sad that it's like that. WWE has announced that actor Ryan Phillipe, star of the the TV series Shooter on USA Network, will be appearing on SmackDown next week. Also noted, WWE has hired former Ring of Honor champion Nigel McGuinness, and he is also former TNA star Desmond Wolfe, to be the co-host of the new WWE United Kingdom title tournament on the WWE Network. Well, if you caught my pay-per-view results, they did a video of them introducing a new title tournament, which will be in England. He will be calling the matches with Michael Cole. Regarding Nigel recently finishing up with Ring of Honor and joining WWE, there have been rumors that he was going to work a 30-day tryout as a guest coach at the WWE Performance Center, but it appears WWE had other role in mind, at least for now. PW Insider notes that Ring of Honor officials officially tried to describe his exit as a matchmaker as a potential move back to commentary on Ring of Honor TV. But Ring of Honor officials were not aware of McGuinness leaving the company until the past weekend, and they aren't happy about him signing with WWE. Like I said, the former Desmond Wolfe was not under contract to Ring of Honor. Raw Tag Team Champions, former Raw Tag Team Champions, Xaviar Woods joined his friend Chris Decker at Denker's Twitch channel on Wednesday for a live gaming stream with giveaways that included WWE merchandise. The stream was done to raise money for Chris and Michelle's 4th annual holiday charity stream, which provides Christmas toys to children in shelters and orphanages. Woods tweeted the following and noted that as well. Also show you a picture of that. As there was like 3 people in with full of buggies with toys in it and what have you. Jinder Mahal noted on Instagram that he's now gone more than 6 months without drinking alcohol. Very proud of him. This next link is some video footage of something that happened at Hulk Hogan's house. Said by WFLA TV in Tampa, Florida. 3 suspects have stole a package from the doorstep of WF Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan's home in Clearwater, Florida on Saturday. Suspects can be seen at around 1:20 mark. So if you notice anybody in the video link, call your Tampa authorities. There may be an award out. Nicknamed the last professional broadcaster, Sam Roberts is a co-host of the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts radio show on XM and Sirius, as well as the host of Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast. And a lifelong fan of WWE, Roberts can often be spotted on WWE Network programming and will be bringing the voice of WWE fan to the kickoff panel. It appears Samoa Joe may be suffering from some kind of injury. He appeared at this past Thursday's WWE NXT Live event before the main event and announced that he was not cleared to compete. He then watched the main event from ringside as NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura and Ty Dillinger defeated Bobby Roode and Andre Cien Almas. Joe did work the steel cage match against Nakamura in Melbourne, Australia on December 8th and worked again at the December 10th show in Newcastle. Newcastle main event saw Nakamura, Dillinger, and Buddy Murphy defeat Joe, Roode, and Elias Sampson. It was noted by a correspondent that Joe and Nakamura didn't do much in the match. Joe then worked the December 12th NXT Live event on the Gold Coast, which saw Nakamura and TM61 defeat Joe and the Revival. Correspondent at the event said that the Revival and TM61 worked most of the match while Roode and Dillinger had some involvement, but there was not a lot of action from Joe. Joe's last match came on December the 13th in Sydney, Australia. He teamed with Roode and Sampson, but lost to Nakamura, Murphy, and Dillinger. Correspondents at that show noted that there was a lot of stalling and crowd work with minimal bumps and few high-impact spots. The main event also had some controversy with it, as fans were upset that the advertised fatal 4-way event of Nakamura vs. Joe vs. Roode vs. Dillinger was changed to the 6-man match. Fans booed as soon as the change was announced, and there were reports of the match being hijacked by the crowd at times. No official word on Joe being injured, but whenever I get the news, I'll give you updates on the status. Well, unknown at this present time, but Brock Lesnar has been suspended for 1 year for his 2 failed drug tests related to his UFC 200 win over Mark Hunt earlier this year. According to MMAfighting.com, punishment was handled down today by the Nevada Athletic Commission. Lesnar will be able to return to MMA in 2017. But Lesnar did agree to pay $250,000 fine as part of a settlement with Nevada Attorney General's office. Lesnar's win over Hunt will be overturned into nothing more than a no contest. But as reported a few months back, Lesnar tested positive for anti-estrogenic agent hydroxychloroquine in pre-UFC 200 fight drug test. One test was on the day of the fight of July the 9th, and the other one was June 28th. Lesnar received a then UFC record $2.5 million purse for his win in the fight. Total Divas was nominated for Best Reality Show in the 2016 WIN Women's Image Network Awards. Bella Twins were also nominated for their roles on the show in the Best Actress in a Reality Series category. The winners will be announced in 2017 sometime. And word going around, rumor is there may not be a Slammy Awards show this year. WWE did not announce the results of Zack Ryder's MRI on Wednesday this past week, but he did tweet the following this morning and indicated that he is having knee surgery in Alabama today. As noted, Ryder suffered the injury at Tuesday's SmackDown as the Hype Brothers won the Battle Royal to become the new #1 contenders to SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Wyatt family. This next video, WWE posted to introduce the 18 competitors for the tournament to crown the first ever WWE United Kingdom champion in January. There will be 2 alternates and 16 tournament participants. Full details on the 2-night tournament also on that link. Competitors are Trent Seven, Pete Dune, Tyler Bate, Wolfgang, Tyson T-Bone, Tucker, Jordan Devlin, Roy Johnson, Joseph Connors, H.C. Dyer, Jack Stars, Sam Gradwell, James Drake, Dan Maloney, Chris Tyler, Saxon Huxley, Ringo Ryan, and Tiger Ali. In this next video, former Ring of Honor champion Nigel McGuinness says it's surreal, fantastic, and very exciting to finally be with WWE. I think this is the same video that happened during the pay-per-view on Monday, Roadblock, Sunday. He also talks about the tournament and says it's going to be very exciting. And here's some more videos of some of the competitors. The Bruiser Pete Dunne, who says he's not your average cruiserweight, and Trent Seven. Dunne says you won't see him do anything flashy, but you will see him beat people. Dunne said his tournament changes everything for them and gives them a chance to show that British wrestling is great too, as it has been on the rise for the past few years. Seven calls his style of British strong style and says it's very high impact, strike based, and very aggressive form of wrestling. Seven also warns the cruiserweights not to get in his way. And you can go to the links there, post both of them, tournament announcement as well as the video. Naomi and the Usos were scheduled to return to the ring this past weekend from Jey Uso and Naomi's ankle injuries, but that didn't happen. Both were also brought to SmackDown but not used. This past week, the Usos did make an appearance on Talking Smack and confirmed Jay's injuries, but they did not work the SmackDown or Tribute to the Troops taping. The Usos are now scheduled to return to the ring at the Monday, December 26th live event from Madison Square Garden, but Naomi is not scheduled for any of the post-holiday live events. Regarding Zack Ryder, that I talked about earlier, suffering the knee injury on this week's SmackDown, there's no word on the result of his MRI from Wednesday, but we do know that Ryder was walking on crutches backstage at the arena on Tuesday. The Hype Brothers were scheduled to work the Tribute to the Troops tapings in the match with Dolph Ziggler against SmackDown Tag Team Champions Wyatt family, but they were pulled and replaced with Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. WWE will likely make a decision on the Hype Brothers being #1 contenders once they know more on Ryder's injury. And the follow-up video of Ryder being tended to in the trainer's room can be found here. I watched it. As WWE officials are interested in bringing current TNA star Eli Drake, real name is Sean Ricker, back to the company. According to a Wrestling Observer newsletter, Ricker worked WWE Dark matches in 2006 and 2008, but was later signed to WWE Performance Center in May of 2013. He made it to the WWE NXT as Slate Randall, but was released in August of 2014. If you're not familiar with Eli Drake, he's the one that says, "Dummy, yeah," when he hits the button. "Dummy, yeah." Obvious issue here would be Ricker's contract with his status with TNA. Dixie Carter announced that back in May of this year that they had signed Drake to a new deal, but the length of that contract was not revealed. Drake first started working with TNA in February 2015 and was held the King of the Mountain title. There were high hopes for Ricker coming into WWE back in 2013 after he appeared on TNT's reality TV show The Hero, which was hosted by The Rock. His release came with a handful of other developmental talents, reportedly due to budget cuts, but it was said that his departure was different and it had little to do with the budget. Ricker had the charisma WWE wanted, and that he was progressing better but there were some issues with his Twitter use in an email he sent while with the company. Exact confirmed details of that email were never revealed, but it was said to have buried him with the officials, who also weren't happy about some of his tweets. Drake spoke with Pancakes and Power Slam in 2015 and talked about WWE blacklisting him, as he said, "I was on the blacklist there for a while. One of the guys who used to work in talent relations, I'll leave him nameless, he got fired around early 2012, apparently not very liked in the back anyways. I guess he was kind of a jerk to a lot of people, for whatever reason, would bury me in the office. So I was kind of just, nobody could touch me, nobody would touch me. So for a lot of years it was frustration and wondering what I'm working toward and why isn't these guys taking my calls. And I finally started getting some of the details of why this guy was burying me. There was talk of them picking me up in 2011. I was there for SummerSlam. And then the follow-up Raw and SmackDown. And everything went incredibly well. But all of a sudden it was like radio silence on their end. And I hadn't quite understood why until I spoke to this person. And he was like, well, we're going to go in a different direction. I'm like, okay. And he's like, you can check out Ring of Honor or TNA or whatever. So I think maybe 5 months after I'd spoken to him on the phone, he'd gotten fired, which was a great day for me. I don't want to see anyone lose a job, but if you keep keeping me out of a job, here's to you. So I was more than happy to see him go. And so this new guy comes in, and the beauty of it is that with the footage I had from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, I would take some of this great-looking television footage that was on every week and put it together with a short little paragraph just introducing myself and a resume and some photos. Emailed it to this guy, and he immediately responded to me and was interested, but then found out that I was on this blacklist or whatever. So for the next few months, I had to just wait and keep trying to establish this rapport. Eventually, these tryouts kept getting pushed off. First, he offered me a tryout until he found out that I was on the blacklist. A few months later, I got offered a tryout, but simultaneously, I was also offered a TNA tryout. So my TNA tryout was on a Thursday, and my WWE tryout was actually that following Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, I was ecstatic because I have the two biggest companies vying for me. It's perfect. Thursday, I go into Impact, and that goes well. Then suddenly, I get an email, and I'm told that I can't come to the WWE tryout. They couldn't say why, but I'm pretty certain it was because there was a lawsuit going on between TNA and WWE at the time. And that closed out his highlight video interview, I should say. A Saturday WWE Live event rules was left behind this past weekend at a Raw brand show in Lowell, Massachusetts. It appears that it was a sheet given to WWE producer Jamie Noble and used for Saturday show live event in Lowell, then Sunday show in White Plains, New York. As I'll show you a photo of that, as the sheet reads like this. Producers Jamie Noble and Devon. Referees Rod Zapata and Sean Bennett. Ring announcer Byron Saxon. LE producer Matt Hanrahan. Production manager Law Boss. Marketing rep John Veracio on Saturday, John Porto on Sunday. VKM, Vince and Kenny McMahon, notes for live events. Per our conversation with Vince, please, no pile drivers. Also, if there is anything you think is questionable, please contact Michael Hayes for more info. Thank you. Referees should not play a factor in our finishes. It is important to keep their credibility. Do not compromise the referees or put them in compromising situations. Please make sure all talent do not go up on the ropes during their entrances. Please do not let talent stall too much, especially during the first match. New rule, no impromptu talent promos. Promos must be approved ahead of time by Michael Hayes or by the LE agent. Producer and talent must run the promo content by an agent. Producer and agent producer must approve. No one is to do the yeah boo stuff except John Cena. Producer agent note, No low blows. Also, any use of chairs, tables, or other objects must be approved first. Also, agents need to approve heels taking a walk during their matches and limit to the top matches only. Producer notes, refs and producers, if talent takes a bad bump or seems to have hurt themselves, please stop the match and check on talent. If the ref is unsure if talent is okay, wave ringside doctor in to check on talent, all while moving opponent to a neutral corner. If the doctor deems the talent unable to continue, stop the match and have injured talent help to the back for medical attention and award the match to the opponent. If the talent wants to continue and the ref and doctor agree they can continue without doing further damage, then the talent should be able to get to their feet on their own and the ref can restart the match. Anytime a competitor is really hurt, the ref should go to their opponent and stand in front of them with his arm crossed. This is a sign that the match has been stopped. Please pass on to talent and referees if the talent takes a bad bump or seems to have hurt themselves. Do not give in to talent who want to suck it up and continue the match. The talent's well-being always comes first. Never let an opponent attack their injured opponent to get hurt heat. Note, if talent is opened up and you must stop the match later in the show if the cut is closed and the bleeding has stopped, it is okay to send the heel back out to cut a promo bragging about their victory and send the babyface to the ring, Spirit of 76, to then make a comeback and hit the finish on the heel. Note, again, if we do a ref bump during the match, have a ref bump to the floor and have a second referee come down and finish the match. Please do not have the ref that was bumped remain in the ring, peeking to see when he should get up and finish the match. Ronda Rousey steps back inside the octagon next Friday night at UFC 207 to challenge Amanda Nunes for the female bantamweight title. The bout headlines a pay-per-view card from Las Vegas and at the T-Mobile Arena. Rousey, who has not fought since 2015, when she lost the belt to Australian Holly Holm, or in Australia to Holly Holm, explained why she continues to compete in Warrior Code, released by the promotion. Former UFC heavyweight Cody East has been arrested, yet again following a domestic violence charge. East was released from UFC after a pair of losses he was charged with in New Mexico Sunday, according to a report by MMAfighting.com. He is currently being held in Bernalillo County Metropolitan Detention Center on a $30,000 bond after being charged with an aggravated battery against a household member, false imprisonment, and aggravated assault against a household member. Prior to signing with the UFC, after appearing on Looking for a Fight, East was arrested twice on sexual assault charges and spent 3 years in prison for child abuse. The salaries for UFC on Fox 22 were released by California Athletic Commission, and Uriah Faber was the big winner. Faber brought some $320,000 for his win over Brad Pickett in what was his retirement bout this past Saturday night. Again, Ronda Rousey steps back in for Friday night at UFC 207. And it headlines the event. WWE take the following matches for a main event. Thanks to Wrestling Inc., Reader, and on Twitter at _TMAC_attack. Goldust with R-Truth defeated Curtis Axel. Tony Dees defeated Lince Dorado. Raw, we're live from Columbus, Ohio. As the power goes off, Michael Coleslaw welcomes us. And he's joined by Byron Saxon and Corey Graves. We go right to the ring for the Universal Champion Kevin Owens. Starting off Raw with Chris Jericho. Owens welcomes us to the Kev show. Nope, the Chris and Kevin show. Owens says that there's nothing he won't do to make sure the title stays with him, even if it means taking a crow breaker from his best friend. We see the steals from Roadblock Interline last night as Owens retained over Roman Reigns with Jericho's help. They talk about pulling off last night's win and their friendship being stronger. Jericho gives him the hug of Jericho and says that they will be giving out payback to everyone the same way Santa Claus gives away coal. They knock Santa, and Jericho calls him a stupid idiot. This brings out Raw General Manager Mick Foley, who isn't happy about their knocks against Santa. Foley ends up making Jericho and Owens versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Foley goes for the cheap pop, but calls this Pittsburgh, not Columbus. Owens says that they make sure he won last night and will do the same tonight. Foley is tired of Jericho getting involved in Owens' title matches. Foley has a small cage lowered from above the ring. The same cage. As I'll show you some of the footage of that also. Well, it's basically nothing more than a picture. Toronto with Paul. Oh, it's the same cage that they used from the NXT TakeOver Toronto with Paul Ellering. Jericho and Owens are not happy. If Jericho refuses to enter the cage, Foley threatens to prevent him from wrestling in a WWE ring ever again. Jericho ends up entering the cage, but Foley has lost the key. He's going to get the guys in the back to help get it open, but in the meantime, Jericho is stuck. Back for the commercial break, and Jericho has been brought down from the cage. He's backstage freaking out about the heights. Owens tries to control him, but Jericho needs oxygen. Still comes segment. Reigns and Rollins versus Jericho and Owens in the main event. Big Cass versus Rusev rematch from the pay-per-view was up first. We go to the stage, which is decorated with Christmas trees, and out comes Enzo Amore and Big Cass. Lana and Rusev are out next for the roadblock rematch. The bell rings and they go at it right to work as Cass unloads. Cass backs Rusev in the corner and unloads on him until the referee calls for the bell. Wondering about the disqualification of Rusev. After the bell, Cass continues to beat down as Enzo cheers him from ringside. Rusev finally breaks free and retreats. JoJo announces Rusev the winner as his music hits and he stumbles to the back. Enzo and Cass stand tall in the ring. Still to come, new Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. Back to commercial. Back from the ring, out comes Sasha Banks. She has her knee wrapped and she is using crutches to walk. Sasha enters the ring and we see stills from last night's match. I didn't get to see nothing but the final match. As my computer issues were having a problem with the Raw on several different networks and what have you. Sasha says tapping out 3 times last night not only almost broke her leg, but it broke her heart. She says she and Charlotte have gone to war over the past few months, and as much as it hurts her to say, the better woman won last night. Sasha says she called herself the boss, but she doesn't feel like the boss anymore. Sasha calls Charlotte to the ring to look her straight in her eyes and congratulate her. Sasha waits and no one appears. Music finally hits and out comes Nia Jax. Nia doesn't care if Charlotte is coming out. She's here to address Sasha. She says Sasha may be the boss of these sheep, but she will never be the boss of Nia. Nia says Sasha's weak, wounded, and most of all, just a little girl. Nia kicks Sasha's bad leg out and she goes down. Nia picks Sasha up, yells that she is the boss, and launches her into the ropes. Sasha's leg hits hard. Nia picks up the crutch and breaks it. Nia tosses the crutch and leaves the ring as Sasha looks on as we go to replays. Alicia Fox and Cedric Alexander are backstage walking. He has a match with Noam Dar next. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Foley approaches Cesaro and Sheamus talking about last night and their big win over the New Day at Roadblock. Foley says he feels like a proud papa. He goes on and reveals that the new Raw new tag team titles, similar to the SmackDown tag team titles, but with a red background. And I think I've seen the belt in it goes back to the copper belts, copper metal. As Sheamus and Cesaro argue about the color of the belts, referee runs in and needs Foley for an emergency. Camera cuts to Braun Strowman throwing a fit and attacking crew members. Braun says Sammy only lasted 10 minutes last night because he let him. Braun wants Sammy tonight. Foley says Sammy is 100 miles from here and suggests Braun take the night off. Braun threatens or else and walks off. Noam Dar versus Cedric Alexander was up next. as Noam Dar was out first and Cedric was out with Alicia Fox. 205 announcer Austin Aries makes his Raw debut. Joins the announce team with Coleslaw and Corey Graves to call the match. Bell rings and Cedric unloading and taking control as we go to commercial. More back and forth after the break. Cedric ends up making a comeback and hitting the lumbar check for the win. After the match, Alicia joins Cedric in the ring for a celebration. Dar speaks from the floor and congratulates Cedric. Dar says they must be even now, but no. Cedric has what he wants. The beautiful Alicia. Dar says all he wants for Christmas is Foxy, baby. Cedric talks trash as Dar makes his exit and Alicia looks on. We see New Day walking backstage, back to commercial, back from the break. Out comes New Day. Not calling them the Raw Tag Team Champions is odd. They have a few words before the Raw Tag Team Champions, Cesaro and Sheamus, come out. Kofi jokes about them getting the new belts the first day after winning them, but says they knew someone would take the titles one day, and they're glad it was Cesaro and Sheamus. New Day congratulated them. Sheamus speaks, but Xaviar shuts him down and gets a shame chat going. And they were congratulating Cesaro, not Sheamus. Cesaro and Sheamus go to enter the ring, but they're having issues with each other. Sheamus brings up breaking the New Day's record, but Woods fires back. This goes on until Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson come out. They take credit for Cesaro and Sheamus winning the titles because of the many beatdowns they've given the Nerd Gang. The Shining Stars were out next. This leads to a big brawl breaking out as we go to commercial. So we got Cesaro, Sheamus, Kobe Kingston, and Big E versus Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and the Shining Stars. Back for the break, Primo goes at it with Kobe, and we have an 8-man underway. Made by Foley during a commercial break, Primo keeps control and sends Kobe to the floor. Anderson tags in, brings Kobe back in for a 2 count. Anderson keeps control and tags in Gallows. Gallows rocks Kobe with right hand and drops him for a 2 count. Gallows then delivers a headbutt. Anderson tags back in for some double teaming. Anderson keeps Kobe grounded. Gallows comes back in and keeps Kobe in the corner. Gallows slams Kobe but misses an elbow drop. Gallows gets up and boots Kobe, but Kobe comes back off the second rope, but Gallows catches him with a choke slam. We'll go to commercial with Gallows standing tall over Kobe. Back from the break, Anderson is in control of Kobe. Kobe counters a move, but Anderson stops him from tagging. Anderson then takes Kobe to the top rope. Kobe fights back and nails a tornado DDT. Gallows tags in, knocks Big E off the apron. Shining Stars nails dives on Sheamus and Cesaro. Gallows floors Kobe with a big boot. Anderson tags in for the boot of doom, and then a 2 count. Kobe drops Anderson, sends Gallows to the floor. Big E finally gets a tag, unloads on Anderson with suplexes. Big E then stands over Anderson and dances. He runs the ropes, but Sheamus tags himself in. Sheamus and Big E have words. Epico runs in, but Sheamus sends him to the apron with forearms. It's forearm shots. Sheamus brings Epico back in for the rolling senton. Sheamus readies for the brogue kick, but he has to knock Primo off the apron. Epico rolls Sheamus up for a 2 count. Sheamus takes back control and tags in Cesaro for a double team. Primo breaks up the pin attempt by Cesaro. Sheamus with a brogue kick on Primo. Gallows with a big kick on Sheamus. Big E takes out Gallows. Anderson takes out Big E. Cesaro with a big uppercut on Anderson. Cesaro hits the Cesaro swing on Epico. Cesaro applies a sharpshooter and Epico taps for the win. After the match, the bickering between the champs continue as New Day looks on. They show respect to Cesaro and as Sheamus continues posing in the corner. We're going to look back at tonight's opening segment. Still to come, our tag team main event. Enzo and Cass are backstage talking about what happened with Rusev earlier. Cass says Rusev got everything that was coming to him, but Enzo isn't sure. A man brings him a letter. Enzo is being sent to a mandatory sensitivity training for exposing himself on Raw a few weeks back. Cass wishes him good luck and walks off. Back to commercial. Back from the ring, out comes Neville. We see his roadblock attack on TJ Perkins and Cruiserweight Champion Rich Swann. Neville says he destroyed Swann and Perkins last night and you people cheered him. Neville says people usually only cheer for him because they think he's small or vulnerable. If people feel sorry for him, Neville doesn't need their pity and doesn't want their sympathy. He says they can take their cheers and stick them. Neville sends a warning if your favorite cruiserweight appears on 205 Live and says he's going to obliterate the division. Swan's music hits, and out he comes to the stage. He wonders what happened to the Neville he used to look up to. Neville tells him to shut up and talks about how he took Swan under his wing in Japan. Since then, Swan's career has skyrocketed, but where's the gratitude? The respect? Neville calls himself the true king of the cruiserweights. Swan enters the ring and says he's the number one as long as he has a title. Brian Kendrick comes out next and defends Neville, saying he and Neville are responsible for the division. They move around Swan, and Neville says it seems Swan needs to be taught his place. Swan attacks first, but they beat him down. TJ Perkins' music hits, and out he runs. But Neville kicks him in the face. Perkins gets beat down. Neville leaves the ring, and Kendrick hits slice bread number 2 on Perkins. 10-9 segment. General Hall, Bo Dallas, Darren Young, and Bob Backlund backstage at a sensitivity training. A woman called Colleen McCarthy is their instructor for the night. Enzo walks in, and she makes him the first one to introduce himself. He's here because he's exposed his Italian sausage to his co-workers. Ginger is next. She asks how to spell his name, and Enzo speaks up. S-A-W-F-T. The class is off to a rough start, but the instructor seems optimistic. We go to commercial. Back from the break, it looks like Enzo isn't enjoying class. In the next segment, Sin Cara versus Titus O'Neil. We go to the ring, and the bell rings. The match was made after a Raw pre-show altercation. They barely get going when Braun Strowman's music hits. Braun marches to the ring and enters. He floors Sin Cara first. Titus attacks from behind, but Braun levels him. Braun takes Titus to the floor and nails a big running power slam. Sin Cara flies out of the ring, but Braun catches him and plants him. Referees come out to check on Titus and Sin Cara. Braun scoops Sin Cara and takes him up the stage. Foley appears and Braun drops Sin Cara at his feet. Braun says he warned Foley. Braun picks up Sin Cara back up and launches him off the stage into a big display of Christmas presents. Braun destroys the Christmas setup on the stage. We go to replays as Sin Cara is laid out. Foley looks on at the carnage as the referee calls for a stretcher to take Sin Cara out. Still to come, the Iron Woman is here. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Jericho is backstage, upset about the Shark Tank and hanging high like a sexy pinata while a bunch of stupid idiots yell at him. Owens needs him to focus on tonight's match. Owens gets Jericho hyped up, but he's still worried about the cage. We go to the ring. Out comes new Raw Women's Champion Charlotte. Charlotte says she was going to invite Sasha out, but there's a reason she was an easy target for Nia. Charlotte says she beat the boss out of Sasha at Roadblock. Charlotte says you can put her in any era and she'd still be the greatest. She mentioned WWE Hall of Famers Trish Stratus and Fabulous Moolah. Charlotte calls herself to the queen of the pay-per-views. Charlotte goes on bragging until Bayley's music hits, and out she comes. Bayley believes it's time for Bayley. Charlotte rivalry to begin now that the Sasha-Charlotte rivalry has ended. Fans pop. Bayley brings up how she already has 2 pins over Charlotte, and Charlotte has none. They go until Bayley challenges her to a match. Charlotte says since Bayley is dressed like a 5th grader, she will take her to school. Charlotte calls for a referee as they go to commercial. So we get Bayley versus Charlotte. Back from the break, non-title match is underway. They trade holds. Bayley drops Charlotte first. More back and forth. Bayley takes Charlotte down with a headlock. Bayley keeps Charlotte down for a few minutes. Charlotte takes back control. Bayley with an elbow and an arm drag. Bayley nails a crossbody for a 2 count. Bayley kicks up and mocks Charlotte with a flare strut. Bayley keeps control as Charlotte goes to the floor for a breather. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Charlotte takes control on the floor. Charlotte keeps Bayley grounded with scissors. Charlotte with a 2 count before slamming Bayley's face into the mat. Bayley finally makes a comeback and unloads. Bayley with an elbow to the back of the neck and a running clothesline. Bayley takes Charlotte to the apron for a cutter on the middle rope. Bayley with a running shoulder, thrust in the corner, and a running back elbow. Charlotte runs into a boot. Bayley goes up top, but Charlotte turns it around. Charlotte shoves Bayley's face into the bottom turnbuckle and walks on her. Charlotte nails the top rope moonsault, but Bayley kicks out at 2. Charlotte goes for another close pin attempt. Bayley fights back, but Charlotte unloads. Bayley catches a chop and ends up getting the non-title pinfall. After the match, Bayley celebrates as Graves shows us by replay that the referee made a bad call. Charlotte raised her title as Bayley celebrated. We go back to the sensitivity training class. Enzo still looks bored after some bad comedy with Bob, and Darren. Enzo takes a shot at Jinder and calls him schmuck. Jinder disses Enzo, and the segment ends with a stare down. Still to come segment. Reigns and Rollins versus Owens and Jericho. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Everyone is getting their certificate for passing class. Enzo says he doesn't need his. He's already certified. He runs some game into the instructor and wants to trade Instagram handles. She calls him unbelievable. Rusev walks in the stairs Enzo down. He goes to leave, but Jinder appears in the doorway. They beat Enzo down and destroy him. So it looks like the formation of a new World Tag Team. Lana appears and slaps Enzo's face before Rusev puts him through a table and leaves him laying. And we get the main event. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. We go to the ring. Out comes Seth Rollins for the main event. U.S. Champion Roman Reigns without next. Back to commercial. Back from the break. Out comes U.S. Champion, Universal Champion Kevin Owens with Chris Jericho. Jericho and Owens take control of Rollins to start the match. Rollins ends up turning it around on Jericho. Reigns tags into a big mixed reaction as they double team Jericho. Reigns drops a big elbow for a 2 count. And like I said, I caught this. This is where I caught the match in progress right here. Jericho and Owens try to walk out on the match, but Reigns and Rollins stop them on the ramp. Rollins brings back Jericho in the ring, and they go at it. Reigns tags in, they double team Jericho for a few seconds. We go to commercial with Reigns and Rollins standing tall. Back from the break, Reigns unloads on Owens. He knocks Jericho off the apron. They end up cutting him off, and Jericho comes in to keep Reigns down. Reigns fights back, but Jericho kicks him. Owens mocks Reigns. Owens tags in, keeps Reigns down until Jericho comes back in to keep up the assault. Owens then nails a cheap shot while the referee is dealing with Rollins. 2 count by Jericho. Reigns tries to fight them both off, but Jericho drop kicks him. Owens tags back in and stops away on Reigns. Owens with a headlock. Reigns manages a Samoan drop out of nowhere. Rollins and Jericho tag in at the same time and unload on each other. Rollins fights off Jericho and Owens, taking them both out. Jericho and Rollins tangle and trade counters. Rollins nails an insecurity and clotheslines Jericho to the floor. Rollins runs the ropes and nails a dive, taking out Owens and Jericho. Rollins goes to springboard in, but Owens holds his legs while Jericho distracts the referee. Rollins kicks him away and hits a knee on Jericho from the top rope. Rollins goes for a frog splash, but Jericho gets the knees up. Gut buster. And Jericho applies walls to Jericho, but Rollins makes it to the bottom rope to break up the submission. Jericho gets hit with a Superman punch. Reigns waits for a tag. Braun Strowman runs down and yanks Reigns off the apron for the disqualification finish. After the bell, Braun attacks Roman Reigns as Jericho and Owens double team Rollins in the ring. Braun in his ring as Jericho and Owens leave. Braun nails Rollins with a big fist and a running power slam. Jericho and Owens roll Reigns to the floor. Braun yells and hits a running power slam on Roman in the ring. Braun stands tall as his music hits him to go to replay. Jericho and Owens watch from the ramp as Braun stands over Reigns and Rollins. Raw goes off the air with Braun staring out at Owens and Jericho. So it looks like they're going to do the Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman feud. What happened after? Raw went off the air. They did not feature a dark match at all, but did see a post-show segment from the live crowd after the main event tag match from Raw, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns locked both Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho in the shark cage. Show you a picture of that. And also a video, which got a pop from the crowd. There's actually 3 video links that you can go through. And that will conclude my video for this week's Raw and WWE main event. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I want to be. If you don't know, just comment, brothers and sisters.